Yo, what up? It's the Ugliest Brother in Radio, G-Money.
And of course, it is one half of the sexiest tag team in all of North Carolina, Team Sexy, Mr. Magnificent.
And it's me, G. No.
It's
Who am I?
D?
DB. That's me.
Is that what it says on the back of the
Yeah, it
shirt?
says it.
Oh, it sure
DB
does.
Greatness, hire me. That's how we do it.
He'll remember his name if you hire him.
One day.
First things first, let's give a big shout out to our homie J5, who is currently overseas doing what he does for the country. You know what I'm saying? So salute to him. And we are the Smash the Mat Podcast. And what we're going to do today is we're going to talk about our best matches of 2019 and the decade. All of it. Now, for clarification, if you want to hear the episode, make sure you check us out. We're on all streaming platforms. I'm talking about Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Radio Public, Pandora, TuneIn Radio, Overcast, Pocket Cast.
Everything.
Everything.
And then leave a review on iTunes.
Yes.
And we're on social media. On Instagram, it is Smash the Mat Podcast. On Twitter, it is Smash the Mat Pod. On Facebook, Smash the Mat. And we have a discussion group called Smash the Mat Discussion. Easy work. And we're on YouTube. This is what this is on, right?
Wait,
Yeah,
yeah, this is
is
on
this-
YouTube,
this YouTube?
right now,
Yeah.
live from YouTube.
Live.
Yeah,
Live.
I like that.
As in we're alive.
Yeah, we're alive, yeah, because you know how it is. So, let's get started with our best of 2019.
Okay, I'm ready.
All right, so we're not going to make this too long for you guys. So each of us are going to give you our male wrestler of the year, male match of the year, women's wrestler of the year, women's match of the year, tag team match of the year, and tag team match of the year. And then we're going to do the same with the decade. We won't make this too long. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So who's going to start?
I think you should, fearless.
Oh man! All right, I'm gonna start with tag team. Okay, so my 2019 tag team of the year. I got 2 words for you: Cero Miedo. Lucha Bros are my tag team of the year.
Okay.
Easy work.
Fair choice.
Okay.
I'll give you that one.
All right.
I'm gonna try to one up it just a little bit, maybe. If I had
not.
to pick one, yeah, or not. My tag team of the year would be the Street Profits. You know,
You want the smoke?
I want the smoke. And them boys work their way up from NXT
That's
onto
right.
the main roster, and they're entertaining.
That's
Not
right.
saying that the rest of the roster's not, but
Right.
you know, they stand out to me.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to second to the man G, Lucha Bros, all the way. Like 2 great wrestlers that are single stars and a phenomenal tag team that stands out. That is what it's all about.
Right. So, since I started this one, I'll give you my tag team match of the year. And mine is from NXT TakeOver Cardiff. It was the Grizzled Young Vets versus Gallus versus the South Wales Subculture. It was a triple threat match for the NXT UK Tag Team Championships. That match was splendiferous. It was amazing. I love that match. It was crazy.
Big word.
Put a lot of eyes on it. Yeah. You know, that's what I try to do, you know, up the vocabulary game.
Big word.
You know what I'm saying?
Big word.
So we're doing tag team match of the year.
Absolutely.
We have to give that to the newest company out of the bunch, AEW. One of my, it's the match I struggle with. It's like, I love it, but then that's a whole nother story. But it was the Young Bucks.
Yes.
With the
Lucha Bros.
Lucha Bros and not the Canadian Destroyer, but the Panamanian Sunrise, as I'm gonna call it.
No, look,
Or the-
Petey Williams will come looking for
Yes.
Oh! I
It
forgot
is the Canadian Destroyer.
Petey, I forgot that you may be watching. It is the Canadian Destroyer.
you. Absolutely.
It was the ladder match.
Yes, it was done off the ladder.
For the AAA
Through a
Tag Team
table.
Championships.
Tag team match of the year.
Yeah. Canadian Destroyer off the ladder.
Yes.
Through a table.
Through a table.
Hey,
But
guys,
what happened?
The match continued.
ridiculous. So mine is a not traditional tag team match, but
Okay.
it is a tag team match. I have to give it to the ladies War Games NXT TakeOver. It was a phenomenal match. So many big moments, and one of the best, if not the best, heel turn this year from Dakota Kai.
Yeah.
Everything about that match was perfect, and it was right on the right track for the now NXT Women's Champion, Rhea Ripley.
All right, excellent. So, Mr. Magnificent, you can take over for women's. Started us off.
Are we doing women's match of the year?
We start with your women's wrestler of the year and then the match.
Okay, women's wrestler of the year. The popular choice would be Becky Lynch, but I'm gonna go with Charlotte Flair.
Charlotte Flair.
Charlotte Flair
of the year.
Not decade, but year.
Okay. All right.
I mentioned her once, and I'm going to mention her again. Rhea Ripley. Let me tell you, she had a phenomenal year that made her a true star, and now the face of the women's division in NXT.
Okay. So I'm going Io Shirai because Io Shirai, Japanese bitch. She was on fire before the heel turn, and after the heel turn, she was just in fuego. She was like hot magma, and you know what? She didn't win any titles, but everything she did was great. Everything she did.
You're right.
So that's where I'm at with it.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Women's.
yeah,
Women's
match of the year.
I hate to kind of agree with Deshaun, DB greatness, but I'm going to go with the women's War Games match.
Okay.
Absolutely amazing. That's one of the matches that, we see a lot of wrestling, and we're just kind of like, yeah, that's good. But that match, I was on the edge of my seat. I was like, oh, what's going to happen? So.
Here's the twist, though. That was my favorite tag team match, but my favorite women's match, Sasha, Becky Lynch, Hell in the Cell. That is one of the best women's matches I have ever seen. Sasha Banks knows how to throw down, even though she practically will kill herself for a match. But phenomenal match.
Okay,
we don't have to talk about Sasha Banks.
Oh, jeez.
What? You know what? We're not even
going to address that.
We'll address this on the podcast. So, I wanted to choose the NXT War Games match but I feel like it wasn't fair because it's like, how do you compare to that match? 8 women, well, technically not 8 women, 6 women going to war in a cell. So I decided to choose a one-on-one match, and I'm going Becky Lynch versus Asuka at the 2019 Royal Rumble match.
Okay.
The last legit loss from Becky Lynch, and it was by Asuka.
Nobody ready for Asuka.
Yeah, that's what's up.
Very good.
All right, so you can take over for the men's.
The men's superstar. Now, I have to give it to this guy who has done a complete character rejuvenation. I have not seen something like this ever, where he took an already great character and just took it to the next level, and everything he does matters. And I'm talking about the Fiend, Bray Wyatt.
The Fiend.
The Fiend. Phenomenal year for the Fiend.
Wow. Interesting. Very interesting choice.
I hate to do this again, but I agree. I 100% agree. I definitely agree with Deshaun Byron on this one, and the Fiend Bray Wyatt. Excellent year. I was sold in the match with him and Seth Rollins where he took like 50 million curb stomps.
Wait, you said it wrong. It's Seth Rollins.
not Seth, S-E-T-H. It's Seth, S-E-F. Rollins. Like the basketball, Rollins. R-A-W-L-I-N-G-S.
He kicked out, and you know me in wrestling, I'm like, oh, he should have done that. But he did it, and to me, it made sense with the character, so I was like, yeah, that's pretty cool. Like, I believed it.
Everybody kind of trashed that match.
They did.
Just saying.
But hindsight's 2020, so
well, actually, they trashed the ending of the match. I'm going to say that. If it had ended that, everybody would be like, oh my God. So, what are we on?
The men.
Men, okay.
Yeah, the men, the
men's
wrestler of the year.
Men's wrestler of the year. And I said on the podcast, DB's not going to like this, but I'm going with the aerial assassin, Will Ospreay. Yes, Will Ospreay has stepped his game up like nobody else has. He can hit you with different styles of wrestling, and he is one of the hardest strikers in the business. Ask Kota Ibushi, who's still suffering from a concussion. He's not, but he was hit so hard at Wrestle Kingdom 2019. I feel like he's still loopy now in 2020. And I have to go in depth because he never believed, because he needed me to prove it to him. Every single match that Will Ospreay has been in New Japan has been, as some people like to rate, some people rate matches by stars. All his matches have been at least 4.5 and up. At least, take your pick. Will Ospreay versus Shingo Takagi. Take your pick. Will Ospreay versus Dragon Lee. Will Ospreay versus Kazuchika Okada. Will Ospreay versus El Phantasmo. Check out any of those matches. Even check out his match with Jeff Cobb at Ring of Honor Supercard. Great match. Will Ospreay, man.
The jury's still out, so.
Yeah.
I'm going to put these guys on
We'll
the
figure
Will
it
Ospreay
out.
match.
All right, so male match of the year.
Okay.
So I had to think long and hard about this one. I wanted to say the WrestleMania match between the man Daniel Bryan and Kofi Kingston for the WWE Championship. Great moment. But the one that edges it just a bit was from a company I didn't expect it from. AEW. Cody Rhodes versus Dustin.
Oh, the brother versus brother match.
Brother versus brother. I need my brother.
I don't need a tag team partner. I need my brother.
Phenomenal match. Everything about it was great.
That was right up there with Miss Seeley. You going hard to beat me.
I need
My brother.
my brother.
Thank you. Cody, you're leaps and bounds better than your own company. I'm just saying, I can't help that, but you are. You're good.
Oh, man.
Good. As Booker T.
It's good.
It's good, as Booker T would say. Mm-hmm. So, male match of the year.
Male match of the year. I'm going to halfway agree with you on the company with AEW, but I'm going to give it to Jon Moxley. And help me out.
Kenny Omega.
Yes.
Yeah.
That match. Oh my gosh.
The non-sanctioned lights out match.
Yes, they did. They pulled out everything but the kitchen sink in that match.
Right. I'm pretty sure they would have if they had more time.
Yeah, it was deep under the ring.
Yeah. It was way under there. Okay, so I have wrestled with this. Now on the podcast, my answer was different. So you should check out the podcast.
Check it out.
See what we said. So I wrestled with 2 matches. And then I had a, I won't even say a debate, but I had an exchange with somebody online, So my original pick was going to be Walter versus Tyler Bate, NXT Cardiff. I love that match. And it was like the ultimate story of David and Goliath. And then I was going to go choose a Will Ospreay match. That's what I was going to do. But you know what? And you brought it up, but I have to go Kofi Kingston and Daniel Bryan. I'm going to tell you why I have to go that way. There's been a lot of great wrestling matches this year. Mm-hmm. There's been an amazing amount. And that match was a very good, damn near great wrestling match. Mm-hmm. You know what put that over the top? The story and the moment. Me personally, I shed one thug tear.
And guess what? I cried, son. Me MVP.
I ain't no bitch. Me when MVP. I shed that one tear.
You call it when they said Shad.
Right.
No.
Right. Exactly.
We all cried. Yeah, we did it.
We was like, yo, we did it.
The coalition of black brothers. We all cried.
He didn't just win for him.
He won for all of us. And Booker T is
the amount of joy I felt.
Even though he's not dead.
Because I was scared that WWE was going to mess that up. Really, I was like, oh, it's going to be Triple H and Booker T all over again.
Yeah.
Like, I thought they was going to mess it up. But they did such a good job with that. They told a perfect story in the ring, and the payoff was beautiful until October. Yeah. The payoff has been amazing. So yeah, that's my match of the year.
So I'm gonna go ahead and say that was also the moment of the year.
Definitely.
Kofi winning the WWE Championship. Definitely. This was such a good year, especially I felt like this was the start of the new wrestling boom.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. So many different. So
promo of the year, what we got?
Promo of the year. What did I choose for promo of the year? I have to check out my handy dandy notebooks.
I can go ahead and start.
Please, sir.
Okay, so promo of the year has to go to Cody Rhodes again.
Oh yeah,
His promo.
that's what I have too.
Yes,
yeah.
that is like that phenomenal promo, basically where he dogged Jericho and
You talk
brought
about the silver spoon.
silver spoon. In
But
his
you
mouth.
are the son of a famous hockey player.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. That's
Cody
my
Rhodes
promo of the year as
all
well.
the way promo of the year. And
Oh.
yeah, I actually remember what you said, but yeah.
And I it just
Yeah.
clicked. We're gonna go with the same thing I said on the podcast, which was the New Day and Vince McMahon.
Oh,
That-
Kofi. Yeah.
That promo got real.
Yeah, it did.
Like I'm like, should they be
Give me
really saying that on
anything.
TV?
I'll do it.
So I low-key feel like Kofi Kingston and Cody Rhodes are some of our biggest stars of the
definitely.
years. Like I think overall, I think
It's not just their work in ring too. It's like
everything, all sides of the
Promo
spectrum.
stuff.
But you go from the year, but another big thing happened. This was the end of a decade.
It was the end of a
We
decade.
reached 2020.
Yeah.
So there have been a lot of big moments.
So from 2010 to 2019, we're gonna do it again.
Let's do
We're gonna
it.
tell you our such and such of the decade.
Yes.
Whew, now there's already gonna be people calling me while I'm here, so we're not gonna do that. So let's put that on vibrate. So
Start
let's
with
go
tag
ahead.
team.
Yes, tag team of the decade. Okay, so my tag team of the decade. I don't know how many. I don't really care if you agree or not. I'm going New Day. New Day is my tag team of the decade. You took three guys who were pretty much floundering, and they come together. They were given scrap. And I listen to the New Day podcast too, and I love that podcast.
Listen to it.
And I'm listening to them, and I'm like, man, damn, they went through a lot. And then to see what they was able to turn dirt into diamonds.
Yeah.
And they came from obscurity to being possibly one of the biggest merch sellers, one of the most popular groups, and then they won the tag team titles 7 times. And Kofi Kingston is holding a record as one of the longest tag team champion holder of all time. Over 1,000 days.
For once, I'm going to go against DB and agree with you.
Yeah.
But for slightly different reasons. I mean, all that is true, but just for the sheer fact that the New Day is probably one of the most entertaining
Oh yeah, definitely.
tag teams, of the decade.
Like I love the way that they can take references from pop culture that probably only in Twitter and Black Twitter,
Yeah.
and they'll take those references, they'll throw them in promos, and like even if everybody doesn't get them, like we get them, and we're like, yo, he's in set, and they just make it.
And they're not afraid to turn around on themselves too, because remember the whole incident with the video and all that. We don't need to go into that, but they made reference to that as well.
Mr. Magnificent, I'm just going to have to disagree with you because even though you think you're not agreeing with me, you're always agreeing with me. Because I picked the New Day too. Come on now. Always wins. The very best. At Talk Wrestling. That's what I am. Bootios, pancakes, New Day, yes it is. And like the first time that they came out and Kofi did the overhand clap as he walked through, they were phenomenal heels, they were phenomenal faces, and they've still not broken up.
Yeah.
Despite what everybody thought was going to happen, they are still here. That is longevity and that is real. So we have to give it to the New Day.
I can't think of anybody that could take that gimmick and do what they did with
They
it.
made it.
And they're the only tag team that can supply you with a full breakfast.
Yes.
This is true.
Yeah.
This is very
Bootios and pancakes.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh,
Obviously, my honorable mention, my second, and some people will comment and say, no, it's definitely the Young Bucks. Look,
Oh, yeah.
I thoroughly enjoy the Young Bucks. I do. But yeah, I think what did it for me, I know you're not a fan, but what does it for me is that their matches, you could say their matches are just as good, if not better. Some people say their matches are better, but their promo skills aren't up to par. Like I haven't been as entertained by anything that every now and again they The Young Bucks hit me with some, oh, okay, that's cool. But New Day does it too consistently.
The Young Bucks are phenomenal at selling T-shirts.
Stop it. We're not doing that. I just want you guys to know, when you listen to the podcast, we don't always agree, so there's a lot of heavy debating going on. So, you know,
it is.
So if you're watching this and already don't like him, it's cool.
If you don't like, oh no, you already know what the answer to that is. If you don't like me,
look, he's got a phrase that he uses.
Wait for it.
All the time.
you stupid.
Okay. All right. So tag team match of the decade.
Tag team match of the decade. Now,
Tag team match of the decade. It took me a while to figure this one out, but I'm going with DIY versus the Revival.
Yes.
Best 2 out of 3 falls. NXT Toronto. 2016.
No
There
other
is-
answer. No other answer.
Yeah, there's. You want a lesson on tag team wrestling
Watch that
from
match.
this past decade? That's it.
Watch that match.
That's it. That's the one.
You know what? There was a better match.
Okay.
No, I'm just kidding. I agree. That match was phenomenal.
That was the
Okay.
match.
Oh, we're all in agreement.
For once, yeah. Well, twice.
2 for 2.
2 for 2.
Go ahead.
All right, so take it over.
Shouts out to myself.
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
Thanks, Phil.
Great job.
Myself, too.
So, what about promo of the decade?
Promo of the decade. Now, I actually had to think about this really, really hard because there's some good ones.
There are.
Now, this is the one that really just set it all on fire. It was The Miz talking smack.
Oh my
with
God.
Daniel Bryan. Like, let me tell you, if you thought The Miz was nobody, that's the promo you need to watch. And I felt like that's what kicked Daniel Bryan in the pants to be like, you know what? I could get back in the ring. Because not long afterwards, he was cleared to get back in the ring.
Man, and you know what the best part about that was? It wasn't even like in a ring.
It wasn't in
on
the
a
ring.
show.
It was like the fact that that promo set it all on fire, no question.
Okay. Go ahead, Mr. Magnificent.
So,
Because you're doing one or the other, and depending on what you choose, because I feel like it's one or the other. But go ahead.
so for me, it was none other than Ric Flair
I knew it.
and Jay Lethal.
So what year was that?
Was that too long ago?
I don't know.
Well, let's consult the
Let's consult the-
Well, look, while he's consulting that, I will tell you
2012?
what mine is. Was that?
You know what?
2012? It made it.
It made it. It made it just under.
that Ric Flair, Jay Lethal
Yeah.
promo.
I gotta give it.
Woo!
That's my line. That's my line.
Jet flying, limousine riding. Yeah. Jay Lethal does Ric Flair better than Ric Flair.
Oh, God.
And he does a mean ass Randy Savage too.
No better than me. I'm just kidding. Yeah, his is good. His is great.
Yes. God, I love
No
that.
question.
I love that promo. Oh, man. So I figured it would be that or something else. So my promo of the decade is none other than the infamous Pipe Bomb CM Punk 2011 Monday Night Raw. And we all know the story of the Pipe Bomb.
We do.
So just
Yes.
know that it just put everybody on notice. And you know what? Legit. Here we go.
All right.
Promo.
Woman's superstar.
Ooh. I'm gonna have to fight what I said earlier, and this time I'm gonna go with the popular answer, Becky Lynch. I mean,
Of the
she's
decade.
of the decade. She's the man.
Of the decade.
She held 2 titles at one time. First,
Becky 2 belts.
Becky 2 belts. First time that's happened. She's made the cover of WWE 2K.
She did.
She did. You know that's.
I can't believe you brought in 2K20 because nobody.
Terrible.
And I'm the guy that has made the most excuses for that game amongst my
I still
peers.
haven't bought it, and that's the first one I haven't
You know
bought
what?
in years.
You're not.
Let's just skip that.
But seriously, with
continue.
Becky Lynch, you know, she was originally supposed to be heel, but she got over tremendously on her own, handled getting bashed in the face,
Yeah.
and
Yes.
made it into an iconic moment. She is the woman's version of Stone Cold Steve Austin. There's no question. But I have to disagree with you, sir. The person that is just above Becky Lynch
man.
Charlotte Flair.
Yeah.
The things that this woman has done has been amazing since day one NXT. She is just bred for success. When you look at her, you don't just see a women's wrestler. You see a superstar that transcends everything. When you see Charlotte, you gotta watch. You just can't help but do that. And she's done so many first women's main event. She beat Asuka. She had the first Hell in a Cell match. Like she's been in all these the first Money in the Bank. She's done all that. Charlotte Flair all the way.
Man, this was probably the toughest one for me to figure out because, like, 10 years.
10 years.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I was looking at people like Gail Kim. You know, man. Like this is a game time decision because I didn't even have anybody written down. And you know, I really wanted to go Asuka. That's what I really wanted to go. But I'm going to agree with you with Charlotte Flair because she's just so many milestones. Like she's made so much history, and what she crossed over 2014 to the main roster.
Yeah, she did.
So Charlotte Flair, I agree.
Yeah, it's the start of a revolution. She was the first start. Now let's move on to male superstar.
Wait.
Oh.
Women's match of the decade.
I think let's just do the match of the decade.
They're just saying that because they didn't choose one.
Okay.
I chose one.
Okay, you know what? Do it.
I'll do it.
Sir Money. You know?
I'll do it. Sir Money.
Sir Money. I got
Some of my friends call me.
I got a match.
Some of my friends call me G De Niro as well. It's okay. So my women's match of the decade is Bayley versus Sasha.
Smart choice, because that's what I picked too.
NXT TakeOver Respect, the 30-minute Iron Woman match from 2015.
Oh, you know what?
You were choosing the first one.
I chose the first one.
Yeah,
I'm talking TakeOver Brooklyn, the very first time they faced. Blew me away because I've never seen women's wrestling like that in a showcase. That was a phenomenal match, no question.
I chose Respect, the Iron Woman match because they was tied at. I remember like the match was already great. They was tied at 2, and they was like the clock was ticking down, and Bayley had Sasha in some move, and the time is ticking down, and like Sasha's about to hold out, and then Bayley's like, nope, it just starts stomping or whatever it was she did, and Sasha tapped at the last second, and I was like, they have arrived.
Yeah.
They were already here.
Either way, both matches were great.
Yeah,
Mr. McNeil.
I really didn't have a pick for this one.
Exactly, that's why they tried to run.
So
you didn't, not you.
That's for me.
Not you.
Be nice.
So if I absolutely had to pick one,
go ahead.
I'm gonna agree with G Money.
I just want you to know this is what he does on the podcast.
He's gonna pay for
whenever we do predictions.
He always goes with me. He always goes with the right.
Somebody.
He always agrees with the right one when he decides to change it up for video.
You know how boxers are in the ring, like, they start clenching and I agree. I agree.
All right, male superstar.
Male superstar.
So the male superstar of the decade. I have to go with this man. He has been known as the greatest professional wrestler that has done it.
I should have
in
known.
The ring. You should have known this was coming. I'm talking about the man himself. Glacier. Glacier is great. He's phenomenal. He's the best at the very best of this day.
Glacier.
He came back in one match and was the very
that
best.
was the best.
In the whole decade. He spent frost breath in a man's face and froze him on a turnbuckle. That is great.
I'm gonna have to.
But but seriously, I have to go with Daniel Bryan.
Oh, that's what I was expecting.
Phenomenal. He retired, came back from injury, and still didn't miss a step. He was already the greatest when he was in ROH. He won the award for Wrestler of the Year almost like more times than almost any other wrestler that has ever done it. Then he goes to WWE, does the same thing. he warranted. He wasn't even in the Royal Rumble match, but the fans wanted it badly that he had to be added to WrestleMania.
Pretty much the reason, one of the reasons why people were booing Roman.
Well, this is
Batista. That's what it was.
No, he's not Roman, but this is why
Batista,
people were booing Batista,
Yeah.
and it was the start of a completely different show for sure. Daniel Bryan was the guy we chose.
Of course, I'm going to disagree.
And that's what DB stands for too.
Yeah,
well, I mean,
that's what it is.
Yeah.
Other than my real name, but
it's
Daniel Bryan.
Yeah.
So I picked one that's probably not even on you guys' radar. Mm-hmm. But I think the male wrestler of the decade, Dolph Ziggler.
Dolph Ziggler.
Let me explain.
Wow.
Dolph Ziggler has the capability to make anybody look good. I mean, name me one bad Dolph Ziggler match. I'll wait.
You didn't give me enough time to prepare.
See, exactly.
Hot take.
That is
what they call the poor man Shawn Michaels. I mean, it doesn't matter whether he's main event or the first match. He's literally going to steal the show.
Show off.
Wow.
That's why they call him the show off.
Hashtag heel.
Wow.
That's the classic.
Told you.
Wow.
That's good.
So, I had a really tough time with this, and I'm gonna tell you who my runner-up is first.
Okay.
And my runner-up, only because I had the whole time we've been doing this, I'm like, I'm gonna choose him. No, I'm gonna choose him. No, I'm gonna choose him. So, the guy I was initially looking at choosing was Kazuchika Okada. That was my original choice because he's probably he's just pure greatness.
Yes, he is.
Yeah. Kazuchika Okada,
the Rainmaker.
Yeah, the Rainmaker. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not choosing him, and the guy I'm going with, he makes a strong argument. I feel like I'd be straight either way. You know what I'm saying? With either of my choices, but I'm going to go with the phenomenal AJ Styles. The reason I'm going AJ Styles is because in the 2010 decade, 3 companies he was in.
Yeah.
3 companies he main evented, 3 companies he took over. He was the man in TNA, TNA champion. You know what I'm saying? When they finally, man, the way they got rid of him.
Screwed up.
Yeah.
He was their equivalent of their John Cena.
Oh, absolutely.
AJ Styles was the
face
of TNA.
All through the 2000s and then 2010, when he finished up there. And then he went to New Japan, reinvigorated his career with Bullet Club.
Yeah, and won the world title.
Won the world title in Japan, IWGP Heavyweight Champion. Helped make Bullet Club the most popular group since NWO, and then he leaves in 2016ish and comes to the WWE and does the same damn thing.
Longest reigning WWE champion of this era.
That's crazy. He immediately went into the title picture. You know how people always talk about, they're not using such and such person right or wrong. You can never say that about AJ Styles because AJ Styles has been treated like the best since he's been there.
That's why he's phenomenal.
He is phenomenal.
He's no Dolph Ziggler.
And you don't want none. They don't want none. You don't want none.
All right, so end it off with match
of the decade?
The decade.
Holy cow.
So, can we start?
Yes.
Okay. My match of the decade. Let me make sure I have the right thing down. Okay. My match of the decade was Kenny Omega versus Kazuchika Okada 4 at Dominion 2018 when he finally, Kenny Omega defeated Okada and won the IWGP Championship in a best 2 out of 3 falls match. The match was literally 60 minutes.
Yes.
And it was probably one of the most beautiful matches I've ever seen.
Now, I can say that was one of the first New Japan matches that I ever watched.
Oh, yeah.
And it was amazing. I cannot disagree with you at all. And the fact that Kenny's move was so devastating, Okada has yet to kick out, and he did it. He nailed it and won the title. It was phenomenal.
Absolutely.
That's not my
Again, I'm
That's not-
probably
that's
gonna
not-
have.
You gonna agree?
No, actually,
Oh.
I'm not gonna agree.
Oh.
I have one.
Okay.
But it may not be popular again, but that's okay. I'm gonna go with
Dolph Ziggler?
no. Brock Lesnar and The Undertaker, WrestleMania 30.
Whoa!
That was the end of an era. That's The Undertaker lost. He lost a streak. I mean, he can't get that back.
We're gonna call him Hot Take Magnificent.
Was face on with
Undertaker. I mean, it was a big moment.
That was a
WrestleMania
huge
30.
moment.
Never thought nobody. I would say that was one of the most biggest surprises in history. Nobody thought that would
I
happen.
remember watching it, and we were
Yeah.
in the living room. I was
Yes,
like,
we were.
I'm gonna go get something to drink, and I heard ding, ding, ding. Oh, Undertaker.
And then all of us
I was like, what? Taker lost? I was like, is this a mistake?
Right, it was quiet.
it was
like
it was quiet around the world.
all the
Quiet.
air left the building.
But quiet around the world.
I'm at home like,
Twitter.
Everybody was all in the dirt sheets. Like, is this a mistake?
Twitter was on
ref, what are you
fire.
doing? He didn't kick out.
Yes.
Shit.
Yes. Now I had to think about this one, and I had to pick a match that changed the game. Changed the game. It did something that you would never thought could be done, and it did it surprisingly well. Some people don't like it. Some people love it. But it was the most entertaining thing I think that has ever come out of this decade. Matt Hardy, Jeff Hardy, the final deletion.
What? Wait.
Turn off the camera.
What?
That's it.
Hey. Matt Hardy versus Jeff Hardy, the final deletion.
Final deletion. Have you ever in your life imagine a match like that could exist on
Delete.
the planet?
Delete.
Between the
Delete.
quotable lines, the epic moments, the laminated boats, the King Maxwell, Matt sending Vanguard 1. Like, there's so many things. The only thing that was missing, there's only one thing that is missing that could have sent that match over the edge.
Glacier?
You bet. Sweet ass Glacier. The greatest professional wrestler
Of all time.
of all time.
Wow.
That's it.
Okay. Wow. That was I don't know if I'm appalled. Like I really don't know how to feel because of some of you guys' matches. But it's okay because these are your choices. Everybody has their own opinion. And you know what? I appreciate this. This is awesome. This is our first video of 2020. It's the Smash the Mat podcast. It's the best of the decade, best of 2019. Reminding you once again to check us out on all streaming platforms. And if you just happen to find a streaming platform that we're not on, go ahead, comment below, let us know.
And in fact, comment your favorites of the decade.
Oh yeah, please tell us.
Yes. Do you
Tell
agree
us.
with me as you should?
She's wrong.
Or do you agree with these guys? Or do you have your own choice?
I'm right.
Yeah, like,
Like,
share, subscribe.
Share, subscribe.
Yes.
Tell your mama. Smash the mat.
Absolutely. This is what we do. Smash the Mat podcast. Thank you. Bitches.